Hi, I'm Nikisha. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm sharing 4 projects with you today. They're all upcycles that I did using items that I had lying around our home. And I was also able to try the very popular baking soda paint technique, and I am a fan now. And I also use air dry clay for the first time. I hope these projects inspire you to transform something that you have lying around your home. So let's get straight into project 1. For the first project, I wanted to give this bowl that we've had at home collecting dust an update. So after cleaning it, I taped off a small section with some painter's tape. And then I used a mix of acrylic paint and some furniture paint, and I painted off that small section using a regular paintbrush for the first coat, and then I used a sponge brush for the second coat to make sure that I filled in all of the holes from the pattern. After the second coat, I removed the tape before it dried completely, and there you have it, a very simple and easy way to transform a piece of existing decor. For the second project, I'm upcycling this very sad sugar bowl that we've had. It's part of a tea set, but we could no longer use it for obvious reasons. I'm not sure what stained it. And for this, I wanted the bowl to have a very textured finish, so I'm using the baking soda paint technique here. So after giving it a light sand and wiping it off with rubbing alcohol, I mixed a combination of acrylic paint, and once I got the color that I wanted, I then added my baking soda. I didn't measure, so I kind of eyeballed it. I think they normally say it's about half paint, half baking soda. I put less and added a little bit at a time to get the consistency that I wanted. So you want a very thick, kind of creamy, almost yummy looking consistency. So with a regular paintbrush, I painted 2 coats of the paint, and I found that it gave pretty good coverage because after the first coat, most of the pattern was already pretty hidden. So 2 coats were sufficient. This was after the first coat, and when it dried, and this is after the second coat. While that was drying, I went on to my cover. So I was inspired by some trinket bowls I saw on Anthropology, and I wanted to make a very kind of natural looking organic lid for my storage bowl. So I rolled out some air dry clay. This was my first time using air dry clay, and it was a bit wrinkly and bubbly. I don't know if that's normal. But once I rolled it out to the size that I needed, I pressed it into the bowl to get it slightly dome shaped because I didn't want a flat lid. And once it dried, about 24 hours later, I sanded it very, very lightly. I was really afraid that it would break, so I didn't sand it a lot. So to make the handle for the lid, I'm using about 3 pieces of raffia, wrapping that around until almost like if you're making a tassel. And then I'm using some twine to secure both ends of my handle. Once those were in place, I started off using Gorilla Glue, but it ended up too liquid and messy. So I went with my glue gun instead, which dries much faster and allowed me to get it stuck on and far better. And then I also used the glue gun to adhere the handle to my lid. I was pretty happy with how this turned out because I love the textured look of the vase, of the bowl, sorry, and the organic handle as well. I did put a pop of color on the inside, which was I think a duck egg blue. For the third project, I'm making a bud vase using one of these essence bottles. I decided to add some air dry clay to the bottle to make it look less bottly and a little more unique. I've been loving those kind of abstract face vases that I've been seeing around, so this is my take on one of those. I started off by covering up the section where the bottle cover goes. So after covering that, I then used a little bit of water and a paintbrush to smooth the clay, and then I also rolled it onto my surface gently just to get it even smoother. Once that was smooth enough to my liking, because I am going to be painting it with the baking soda paint, so it is going to be textured, I started working on my nose. I'm just making a long kind of abstract looking nose to attach to the bottle with some ears as the handles. Again, I'm using a little bit of water with the paintbrush just to add the piece of clay to the bottle. It was very kind of slippery and slidey, and I used a cake decorating tool that we had at home to smooth the nose onto the glass bottle. I also created some nostrils using a wooden skewer. For the ears / handles, I rolled out a thin piece of clay. I shaped it until I was satisfied, and then I added that to the bottle, scoring one end of it and flattening the other end so that it sat a bit flush to the bottle. After about 24 hours, I painted the bottle with 2 coats of the baking soda paint and letting it dry in between coats. And this is the final look for the first vase. I also had a couple of these vases on hand. They had clearly been spray painted before, but I wanted them to be more neutral colored. So one I painted in a very pinky, and then I just painted the other one using the same baking soda paint technique, a darker but complementary color. And these are the final vases. The texture is amazing. Like, I wanted to paint everything with this. Does this remind anybody of Fido Dido? I know I'm aging myself here, but when I put this together, I immediately thought of Fido Dido. So those are the projects that I had for you today. I hope you were inspired, and I have another video that I'm linking another video that I recently produced where I also upcycled things that I had lying around the home. So do let me know if you're gonna try one of them, and let me know in the comments if you've done anything using the baking soda paint technique before, or use air dry clay, because it was my first time. So let me know in the comments if those are things that you've already used before and what you think about them. So see you in the next video.